Hey everybody, what's up? It's Sir Mr. Clean, and we're back with another review, this time Crimson Desert. This is after 35 hours. I think I'm in the realm of like 37 hours, so we're approaching 40. And I figured I'd go ahead and give some further impressions of the game since the last review I did, which was after, I think, only like 12 hours. So I'm like triple that now, hours in the game. But if you're new here, my name is Sir Mr. Clean. I play lots of RPGs. I love RPGs. I know they've been saying this game isn't an RPG, but it is. It's an open world RPG. Also adventure game. So I mean, there's literally an experience bar as you beat enemies to unlock more skill points. While yes, you don't technically like gain attributes every time you level up or every time you get one of those skill points, but you find plenty of them. They seem to be unlimited if you just keep playing the game, and that's how you increase all of your stats, your stamina, your energy, your health, and unlock all of your skills and upgrade your skills. So it's a leveling system, right? Let's be honest. Anyway, let's get into what I'm thinking about the game now that I'm close to 40 hours into it. I still am having a blast with this game. I think my initial review, I said I think it's like an 8, 8.5. I'm actually probably trending upward there. I'm probably closer to a 9 now. This game, I think, is very special. If you like these types of games, if you like open world, not a ton of hand holding, there are quest markers. There are definitely like where you're gonna go next. But there's so many things to explore and discover that aren't marked on the map that I think this game is giving me the feeling like I got when I played Elden Ring. The the enemies seem to be pretty easy here in the first area. By the way, I'm 37 hours in the game and I'm still basically in the first area. I have a quest to finally go to the second area. And I went there once and beat one boss, but I also noticed that the mobs are quite a bit stronger, and I think I need to really do a little bit more exploring and upgrade my gear a bit more before I really make that my new play area. Plus, there's a ton that I have not explored yet in the starting area. So if I hop in real quick to like my map, you can see like this is the starting area, Hernand, and like the name Hernand, like only the D is uncovered, and then everything like south of it. Domenis is where I'm going next, and I've been just to this one little area. So Hernand is huge, and I have not even come close to discovering. I've probably discovered less than a third of it, and I'm only 47 hours into the game. So this world is massive. And there's a ton to do. If you just look at like your environment tab, there are little icons everywhere of things that I have discovered. And there's plenty of icons that I've like gone past, but I haven't actually interacted with whatever's there. So there's question marks too. And then there's also locked icons these are for your other companions. These are things that you can only really interact with when you're playing as either Damien or Unkla, or whatever his name is. I haven't got him yet, but there's question marks everywhere. There's little icons. There's also like areas where you need to search for things. Most of the time, those are like puzzles or fast travel spots. So there is just a ton to do all over the place. And I haven't even gone down to like this village yet, or this village. I haven't been over to like the water. There's like a whole ocean down here, right here. There's like a port town I haven't been to. So there's a ton that I haven't done, to say it lightly. So for those people that I've read some reviews and I've listened to people talk, and there's some folks that have given the game a really low score, and like everybody's granted to their opinion, right? But when they make comments like I played for 20 hours and there was literally nothing interesting in the game, I'm just like, what game were you playing? Like there is interesting stuff scattered everywhere. Granted, the story's not incredibly interesting, although I feel like it's getting better as you go through and that you start to kind of understand like what's happening. Because at first you're just kind of thrown in, right? Like the main character, something happens to the main character right at the beginning, and then they kind of just don't even really talk about it. And they haven't really talked about it yet, but I have a feeling that they'll fill in some gaps as we go along. So it's a slow burn on the story. But what I will say is every conversation I've had, every quest that I've done, the voice acting is great. The little conversations between people are very entertaining and they're good and they're even well written. They just don't have like the connective through line. They seem a bit random, but the quality is there. So I feel like if I'm piecing all of that together, it's making a very enjoyable experience. I am having the most fun with the exploration. I just love going over a hill and finding a cave that wasn't on my map, and I find like a mine of diamonds or a puzzle or something. I haven't even really done a ton of puzzles yet. So far, the ones that I've been able to do were fairly straightforward. There's like two I know of for sure that I have like no idea what I'm supposed to do. And it's entirely possible that I haven't unlocked the skills yet. So there is room to explore, and it's actually encouraging to explore because you need to unlock some things. You need to progress in the story. So you try to balance all that. And I can see myself putting in 200 hours pretty easily to try to do everything that I can do in this game. I have a feeling it might even be more. So with that respect, I very much like it. Now, there definitely are some control issues. You can't, remap your controller buttons. I kind of wish I could just to switch a couple things to make it a little bit easier. I don't like that, like your strong attack and I don't mind that your strong attack and light attack are on the same side. They usually are in most games, but there's some moves where you have to hit both of them, and it's kind of tough. There's also places where you have to hold L1 to like do things, and also have to like hold circle or square or X, but while like at the same time you trying to use your joystick. And anytime you're supposed to touch the thumb buttons and you need to hit the thumbstick, that's just kind of a bad design. And so I wish there was ways to remap around some of those things. The biggest one for me, and it's not as huge of an issue anymore, but like running before was tapping X, and like galloping with your horse and getting to the high speeds was tapping X. Now you can just hold it, which is really nice, but it still requires to like move the camera to use the right stick. And I kind of wish there was an option to like turn on like some sort of a auto follow with the camera, just so that you don't have to do that. Because I have to let off of holding X in order to change the camera, and then I have to go back to holding X. Sometimes you lose speed. Sometimes the cooldown on that is enough that you can move your camera. Sometimes it's not. It's kind of frustrating. After a while, you kind of realize that's how it is, and then you just move on. It's not a big deal. The other thing that I don't like, and I don't like this with any games that do it, and there's a couple games that do it really well, and there's a couple games that don't. When you're moving R1 and L1 in the menu, I don't like when that transition has to be like, there's like a fade out, fade in, and there's like some animation that plays. I want it to be snappy, because when you hop into this menu, it's usually on your inventory and you have to go to like your map. And like, so that animation right there, we don't need it. Even if we had just an option to turn off like, inventory or menu transitions, that would be great. Some people like that. I hate that I have to sit here and kind of wait for those transitions before I can then interact with things, because I want to hop in and hop out as quickly as I can, Most of the other issues are not huge. Originally, there was issues with the inventory, but they've since done miracles in making the inventory stuff a bit better. We have more slots. You can now transfer to and from your personal inventory, which originally it didn't have, which I find so bizarre. One thing I kept telling a lot of my friends was, I'm so glad that in the first 10 days, they had 2 major patches that solved a lot of the initial complaints. But I'm also like, man, couldn't they have just delayed the game 2 weeks and like had all those things fixed before releasing it? Like a 2-week delay to fix those things doesn't seem like a lot of time. And it's weird. it seems like they already had all those things planned. So they were ready to be in the pipeline, ready to get through, certification processes on the consoles and everything. It's just, it felt a little weird that they came so quick. I really wish that they almost would have just delayed the game 2 weeks and let them come out with those fixes in place. I think across the board, they probably would have had a good half a point to a full point on average higher review scores. Probably like a half a point. But that's a difference between like a 75 and an 8, So I don't know. That just personal opinion. Like as a developer, I would have loved to have seen. I'm sure there were like market pressures and like higher up saying no, we have to keep to our launch time and blah blah blah. I understand that. I've been in development for a long time, and unfortunately, developers and the lower management don't usually have much to say there. So I get it, and I don't blame the developers. Developers, I think, are kicking butt. Like the fact that they got 2 major patches out in the first 10 days is huge, and review scores are already going back up, and people are talking about the game as like a kind of a comeback story, even though they weren't even down very long. Like the initial reactions were a bit mixed, but man, as soon as players started getting into the game, those opinions have gone up tremendously. I mean, if you just look at this, like this is beautiful. I am on a base PS5, and this looks great. I'm in quality mode because I'm used to playing in 30 frames per second, and as great as 60 is, I think performance mode just doesn't look as good. I did turn vertical sync off. Let me look at the options too. I think there was like a Force 4K option that they added recently that I haven't looked at. Fixed 4K output is on. Okay, good. Yep. So I already have that set, which is great. And then yeah, I'm on quality mode right now. So I think it looks fantastic. And it's not choppy really. Like I see vertical sync issues every once in a while, but I would much rather have that as a problem and have it looking this good. At someday I may get a PS5 Pro because PlayStation is kind of my console of choice. I have all of them. I don't have a Series X, but I have a Series S. But all my consoles, I love them. I have a Switch 2, a Switch 1, PC, a gaming PC with a 4070 Ti Super. So I can run just about anything on pretty high graphics. But I prefer PlayStation. Just kind of the ecosystem I bought into. If I like this game enough and I want to do a second playthrough, I'll probably get it on PC so I can really jack the quality settings up and see how it really looks. But I mean, this is fantastic. I have zero issues with this. Like, I love that every individual blades of grass move in the wind. There's all kinds of particles flying around. There's bugs and flying creatures everywhere. Like everywhere you look, there's something. And I just love that. The world feels incredibly alive. I remember playing Skyrim and feeling that same sense of wonder. But like this takes it to another level. There's probably 10 times more, insects, birds, butterflies, rodents, animals running around, people. Like in the cities, they're incredibly populated. I just feel like they've done a really good job at immersing the player. I love that you can go anywhere. You can climb anything except like super sheer flat surfaces, which makes sense, right? You have nothing to grab onto. You can fly and dive from the world above, the floating islands above. There is so much. You can get pets. If you are really nice to cats and dogs, you can get them as pets and they will pick up loot for you, and you have a whole pet screen where you can have multiple pets and then summon them. So I'm going to get myself a couple different dogs and a couple different cats. The cats actually will like sit on your shoulder and you can pet them. You can put armor on them. Like there's just so many cool little things to find, and I'm still discovering things. There's a double jump skill, but it's not great. And so instead of double jump, you can use you have a force palm move. And so you can just like use it. That's the force palm move. And so if I jump, I can use it. Although it doesn't seem to want to let me sometimes. Yeah, I think it's because I'm in my camp. There we go. So you can use that like 3 times to jump, and then you can, you know, put out your wings and float around or fly around or whatever. Like there's just cool things that you can do. Once I get there's another skill I can get that'll allow me to even like stab in the air, and then I can like shoot myself further up. There's just, I feel like there's so much to this, and I'm having such a blast with it. And as long as you're into kind of this open world exploration type adventure RPG, you'll probably like this. A little bit more like maybe Breath of the Wild, Elden Ring, you know, that type of feeling. But very little hand holding. Like they don't really hand hold you on the puzzles. They don't hand hold you on some of the mechanics. You just have to kind of figure it out. And some of that I like. Some of that's annoying because there's things that I wish I would have known and I would have done a little different maybe in the earlier parts of the game. But I've got 100, almost 200 more hours to figure stuff out. So my official score as of right now, and I'll probably do another review after, you know, 70, 80, maybe when I'm getting closer to 100 hours. We'll see where I'm at and what I'm feeling. But right now, I think about this game all the time. I watch videos about it. I try not to do anything that like really spoils me, but I like to watch videos and see what other people are doing, especially if it's like, hey, 10 things you need to know. I love those like intro videos, and I like to glean, okay, what did I miss during my first, you know, 20, 30 hours? So I like to look at those. So there's a few folks that I like to watch, like open world games. Let me see. There's a couple others that I think would be good. Renfail. Let's see. Yeah, I already talked about open world games. Kind of Funny. Fextra Life. There's a few others. So definitely go check them out. They make really great content. And if you're interested in this game, that's more content that you can get about it. But like I said, right now I'm probably trending closer to a 9 now, 9 out of 10. And we'll see where I'm at here after another 40, 50 hours in the game, and we'll come back and do another review. So this is for the second video in our review series of Crimson Desert. There'll probably be at least 4 parts, one at like 100 hours and then one when I complete the game. So we'll see where that takes us. But thank you for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, especially if you like this kind of content. I'm hoping to do more. I've recently been asked by an indie studio to review a game, so I'm excited to put out that content in the next couple weeks. So be looking for that. And also come back and visit us on the live stream at twitch.tv/SirMrClean. I'm debating on if I'm going to start live streaming again on YouTube as well. But if you'd like to see that, make sure you leave a comment about it, and I'd love to accommodate. So thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you later.